Hello. Okay, I just started this video and I talked way too long. I'm not wanting to make a really long video, but this is my weekly book work video to let you know I've done the work. I'm on like page 101, like 134 or 415 now. It's going well, blah, blah, blah. But I've got other stuff on my brain today, which is why I'm sitting outside in the fresh air. Because I get nervous about posting videos, period, and talking like outside the box or against the grain. But since considering the nature of what's going on and then having to navigate with the coronavirus, because people will watch this later and they'll be like, what's going on? Well, this is like the first week of like kind of quarantine. Some people are having they have the stay at home executive order, and we have the stay at home recommendation. Just depends on where you live. There are hotter spots, but eventually it's going to run its course and the virus will probably be everywhere, and people, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to talk about anything that you guys already know that the media is already covering. I'm going to talk to you about some of the things rattling around in my brain, what I feel called to talk about on today's video. So I have done a bucket load of work this past year on myself, and we all have different things to contribute. And some of us have resources like money, some of us have resources like time. My resources are words and ideas. That's where I'm at right now. I hope to be in a place later in life where it's money, and I don't have to get on here and do a video because it makes me nervous. Like people say all the time, like, well, but you don't look nervous. And it's like, well, I am. I get, tingly around the lips. My legs start to quiver. Like I get all quickened of breath and like just stuff. Like that's my nerves that are telling me, those are the nerves that say, okay, you're supposed to do something right now uncomfortable for you just because that's what you have to give. Okay. So I have words, which is why I'm writing a book, and I get on and do videos and lives and stuff like that. Like I'm such a solitary person and an introvert. If I felt like if my essential self felt like I could get away without doing this, I wouldn't. So, but anyway, so this is what I'm going to do today. Um, that's what I have to give. um, so a couple thoughts have come up. Like so one of the things that keeps me, I'm having to pull myself back to center multiple times a day because everybody's home right now. And I feel super lucky and fortunate because we are less affected lifestyle wise than many, because Gabe and I both work from home. We don't have to go anywhere. We already are homeschooling True. So that the girls are home, that's, I don't know. We are not hugely affected and we feel good. The guys got home from Peru. So like, we're in good shape and feeling very fortunate in that arena. But so even with that being the case, and I feel like there are a lot of other people in the same position. Some people are in these positions where it's different. They are worried about sickness, or they are sick, or they don't have food, or they don't have care for their kids, and they still are an essential worker and have to go to work. Like, so there's a whole bucket load of other scenes out there. But I think that many people are in a similar situation as us, and then it's still a challenge to wrap your head around the stuff that's going on and to be told that you need to stay home and the inconvenience of things not being open and not being able to go, whatever it is. But so I have to pull myself back to center a lot, which, what is center? If you picture, you've heard that kind of cheeseball saying, be the master of your sea. I'm the master of my sea. That's an Imagine Dragons song. But then there's in countless books and things, it's like you got to master yourself and blah, 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 blah. The thing is like so this is what I do for myself. Constantly check in with myself and remind myself of this truth that I can't control anyone else, and I can't control anything. Nothing. Nothing except for myself and how I react and respond and the things that I feed my brain and the stuff that I worry about. Down to the very, very core of us, so people who meditate, like, have heard this, but down in the very, very bottom, I think that's where like that sea thing comes from, is like the ocean is very calm and still, like at the bottom, right? So if you get to the bottom, the source, you come to center and chill, like that's calm and smooth. But then as you go towards the surface, that's crazy and lots of waves, and could be storms, might be fine, whatever. But the surface, like as we know when we deal with stuff on the surface, is the surface stuff, superficial. Like it's not okay. So I've been really reminding myself to go back to the center. I can control me and my reactions, and that's powerful for myself, and then it's powerful for others. So that's one of the things I'm having to do a lot as the kids are changing throughout the day, and maybe Gabe's changing throughout the day, whatever the case. But so I have a little note about that. I'm going to feel like I could write a whole nother book right now, and so I have some things written here that I wanted to share. But as always, I can just talk forever, and I'm really trying hard not to. So there's that. And then I had this thought this week that was like sort of felt like a breakthrough. And I feel like we've all heard this a lot. This is another thing that's come up a bunch. And I guess the point of this video is just like how I'm getting through right now and the things that I'm thinking. And then I just feel called to share that, versus reading something out of my manuscript this week. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, more about that in a second. Okay, but there's this thing, right, that comes up a bunch that we've heard. Teach people how to treat you. Right? Have you heard that? So I had like an epiphany this week, and it was, how can we teach people how to treat us if we ourselves don't know how to treat ourselves? If we're not treating ourselves the way that we ought to be treated, how can we teach anybody else to treat us that way? This is the reason, so how this came up for me, and it was just like, you can tell people all freaking day long to teach someone how to teach you, but if you're not treating yourself the way that you think the way that you want and yearn to be treated, if you're not doing that for yourself, how can you teach somebody else to do it? Guess what? I think teaching yourself is the hardest freaking part. I did this last year. 2019 was my year of self-care, self-love, and self-talk. I was noticing, and here I'm like a pretty positive person and stuff, I noticed towards the end of 2018, I'd gotten to a bad place where my internal tapes all of the freaking time were negative. I hate my house. I hate doing laundry. If only I could be alone. Like, just, I tell you stinking what, it was all negative. And I finally got to the freaking place where I was like, external things will not fix it. Because here's the thing, then say you get something right, something externally happens that's right, you're still in a bad mood, you're still talking bad to yourself, whatever. So in 2019, my first goal was to change my self-talk, and it was a slow process. I had to constantly bring myself back to that center, constantly bring it back. I had to constantly notice that I wasn't talking to myself or saying good things. And then I just worked on it. Well, guess what though? Gone. Like every once in a while, maybe something creeps in, but I can squash it. My self-talk is so freaking good right now. And I can tell you what, it changed everything. If you do anything right now in this time where you're kind of forced to do something different, do that thing. Teach yourself how to treat you. And when you know how to treat you, others can learn how to treat you. And so this is a really big deal for me, did I put this on my list somewhere with Gabe? Some of you know him. He's a very strong personality. Sweet, loving, kind, smart, great person. But he's a strong personality. He's opinionated. He's an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. I've got lots of thoughts and ideas and things, but I will consider what others put on the table. I'll mull it over quietly. I'll whatever. And this was a freaking game changer, because how in the world could I teach him how to treat me if I wasn't treating myself the way I needed to? Once I made those changes, he considers what I say more carefully. He proceeds around me in a bit more loving, quiet manner. Like, it's an absolute reflection of myself. And then it's the same with my kids. This video is getting long again. Sorry. Anyway, I came across that, and maybe you know this already, but the thing is that like I love self-development stuff. Like, I've read a ton of books, watch a lot of different things on the matter. Like, I constantly consuming positive energy, how to work on things and myself and blah 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 blah. And I just haven't heard it framed that way. Like, I've heard it a lot to teach people how to treat you. And then just this week it was like it never happened until I quit that negative self-talk to myself, and that's what started everything. The definition of insane, I heard this, I think, in a book I'm going to mention to you. I think, like, the definition of sane, and I think this is from, like, Alcoholics Anonymous or something, but is a person that continues to do the same thing, like, even though it doesn't get the results they want. So, and I could be wrong, like something like that. Anyway, so, but it's huge, like, because this is another thing that comes up all the time is if you want something different than what you have to do something different. You can't keep doing the same thing every freaking day and expect to get different results. So, I mean, you can apply that to any old freaking thing. My point kind of with this is just like, besides that it's beneficial to think about and a great thing to apply to your life and look at your house. It's like, if you're getting what you want and you love what you have and it's working, by all means keep doing it. But if you're wanting a certain result and you're not getting it, you try something new. You don't get it, you try something new. You don't get it, you try something new. You got it. Do it again. Do it again. And then do it again until it doesn't work again. And then it's time to, maybe try it again to see, maybe one more time, but not 3, 4, 5, or freaking 30 years of the same gosh darn thing that doesn't work, right? Anyway, okay. Sorry I'm yelling at you. My point with this, though, is when we come out of this strange place that we're in right now with the pandemic, like, I've seen this floating around the internet a little bit, like, things won't be the same. The economy will recover, things will, but my bigger picture thing is that it's okay that things won't be the same. I think that we've gotten to a place politically, academically, financially, there's a lot of arenas that weren't great, and it's okay if they change. There's going to be a lot of change. So this is a little bit of a different reframe on it. And I think probably a lot of you are already thinking along those lines. So you can apply that to your own life, but I think in a bigger picture, like a world picture or a country picture, like, some things have gone on for a long time a certain way, and it's time to change, do some things differently. So I wanted to tell you something about the cycle I go on. I have this on my run. So I work out every day, and I've been running lately since the guys were in Peru. Oh, this video is so long. Okay. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Just like it's uncomfortable for me to do videos and stuff, but it's my way to contribute. So I do it. I exercise. I've been going on runs, like not going to the gym with social distancing, and then the guys were gone and stuff like that. And I finally have gotten to a place where like I do want to go on the run. I know that I want to go on the run because I know that I feel so good when I get exercise every day. But that's only just something that I've learned. It's not like I want to go on the run. Does that make sense? So I'm not like I feel like sharing this because I don't want anybody. I just feel like sharing this human part and part of the process that says why and then what I go through as I feel it. And that I'm not just some person over here that's super, super skinny and like it loves to work out and is like that's what my favorite thing is to do, because that's not the case whatsoever. Like it's taken a long, long time to get to a place where I don't fight working out because I know that it's worth it. But so I wanted to talk about when I first start, I like feel a bunch of tension in my shoulders. I feel stiff in my calves or wherever. And something that I've been doing lately, and this is in line with the teaching yourself how to treat yourself. So because when I started doing the positive self-talk thing, making that shift, I hadn't realized how much negative talk there was. So acceptance is this huge, 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 huge thing. So both for our own self and then both for like outside circumstances like people and just stuff that's going on. Like Deepak Chopra spiritually, he talks about this a bunch. And I love that stuff. But like, we don't have to fight everything. We don't have to judge everything. Like we tend to like consume information, either how we're feeling or what's going on externally, and then instantly attach like a judgment or try to figure it out or try to know what's coming next or blah, 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 blah. Like our brain just like go. There's this thing that's like just seeing it, feeling it, hearing it, and saying to ourselves, oh, that's happening right now. So that just accepting it, like you can accept it and not have to judge it or change it or react to it. Like you can just accept it, and then maybe something else will come, but you can take a minute and just accept. And it's I've learned how to do that this past year too, and that's one of the most freeing things on the planet, because I've saved so much energy, and it just feels so freaking good to accept and not feel like I have to do anything, like even think anything about it, like pass a judgment or whatever. Like it's incredible. So I started doing that to myself, and that's something that like I'm passing on to my kids too, with like their emotions and stuff. It's like, just feel that. What do I feel right now? How does that feel in my body? And I've been doing this on my runs, and it's an interesting process because I feel the tensions and the tightness and the restraint, the kind of struggle or whatever. And all I do is acknowledge. I start noticing I hold the leash a certain way in this hand. I hold my gloved hand a certain way this way. I'll notice if it's down like this and feeling kind of tight, and then I notice it and accept it, and then I'll kind of like, what feels better? And then I'll straighten it. Funny little micro things. So I'll be running and it will be the first lap and it will be like hard. And I'll be like, this feels hard right now. My chest feels tight right now. My shoulders, I can do this. I can run right now and feel this. I can feel this. Before you know it, I'm on lap 2 saying, I can, about who knows what thing. Like, I can finish my book. I can. My brain starts going. It's like, you know how fear is contagious, viruses are contagious, they just start going like freaking wildfire. This is something that I'm experiencing inside my mind, and then it goes inside my heart and my body, and it spreads like wildfire. I can. And it just from this having this acceptance, this grace with myself, instead of like putting up a struggle and tensing through the whole run like it's a what does the sky look like? What does the air feel like? Just whatever. Wild. It's wild. It's cool. And then by the first lap, I'm usually in this state of struggle, and I'm feeling it. I'm accepting it. By the second, I'm starting to think about all these other things. By the third, I'm much more calm. By the fourth, so I only run like a mile and a half, like to the track and back, and four laps. But by the fourth, I'm like, it feels so good, very, very good, and worth it. And then that's why I just know I gotta go every freaking day. It helps me get back to that calm place. I mean, that right there, the exercise piece, and I know you guys hear it all the freaking time, but is part of, being the master of our sea. Like, it just is. Who am I to be talking about any of this stuff right now and saying like, oh, do this? I mean, here I am. You can see the house behind me, like not a millionaire right now. So there are a lot of places I want to go, things I want to accomplish, and things I want to do that I haven't achieved yet. So why in the world can I tell you anything whatsoever and make a video like this? Well, I'm a girl born in 1980, raised on fast food and TV, and a bunch of limited beliefs, learned a bunch of things from experiences and other people around me, and have spent the last decade, like my 30s, basically unlearning everything and reconditioning myself. I was constipated most of my life. I know that's a lot of information. And for the first time in my whole life, like, my body knows how to work. I mean, and I think that this is an epidemic. Like, this is a bigger issue. I'm not trying to be insensitive to people that are sick right now, but I'm trying to speak some truth into where we really are and why it's okay to be faced with an uncomfortable change. Like, I've been doing that on my own, which is again why I don't feel hugely affected by some of the discomforts right now. But I know that a lot of people haven't done this on their own, and they're wildly uncomfortable by stuff. And so, like, whatever. That's why I feel like doing this video. Stressed about how long this is. Whatever. It should be a whole nother book. So that's where I come from. And then I've been unlearning things, because here's the thing. Everybody has limited beliefs based on the experiences they've been through. And we get to what we consume, what we choose to react to, what we choose to believe. Those are choices, what I just said, choose. And it doesn't feel that way. Like, we get fed stuff if we're not super mindful of what we're consuming, and then the way we're reacting and processing it, it just takes over. Like, this is what I have done, is hold up the hand and say, like, okay, for example, just with what's going on the surface right now, like, I talked to my mom the other day, and she had heard something at the post office, and she was kind of riled up about it, and she takes all stuff. She's doing really well, but she takes stuff hard, and she's, I think she's very normal. Let's just put it that way, and with what's going on. So I asked her, I said, well, where can we see that report, or how do we hear about that announcement? Because I'm like, this is a big deal, the thing that she said. I'm like, I'm not going to just like I want to hear that from the governor or the president or like whatever. And she said, oh, I don't know. She kind of skirted around it because she didn't know. She had heard it from somebody. So, anyway, back in the day when I was younger, I would have taken that as truth and maybe wouldn't have verified myself and come up with my own conclusion and my own reaction. I would have been very reactive based on what my mom was doing, which is, again, like, we are powerful, so we need to be mindful of that, obviously, with our own kids, loved ones, blah blah blah. Anyway, my mom was fine. It was a fine situation. Looked it up, applied to Denver, didn't apply to us yet, doesn't mean it's not coming, like, just whatever. The thing, though, like, I took the time and found some information. Like, this feels so dumb. Like, I feel like I'm not trying to be talking to any of you. Like, I just feel like you guys could be listening to me and thinking, like, she is so dumb. Like, this is just like a given. But the reason that I'm sharing it is because I didn't always live my life as if these ways of operating were a given. I'd react to stuff and I don't know, I couldn't breathe deep. I couldn't find center. I didn't know how to not struggle. Like, I didn't feel calm. Like, I love my life today with all of this freaking chaos every bit as freaking much as I loved it a month ago before this was affecting us uncomfortably. And I have a sneaking suspicion that that's not how everybody's feeling right now. And if you're not feeling that way, if you don't love your life right now, this minute, today, exactly as much as you did when everything was freaking easy on the surface, then you have work to do, and do the work right now, because we're home right now. We can't go anywhere. I don't know. It's so long, this video. Okay, whatever. It's a whole nother freaking book. So be mindful of what you consume and how you react. Like, there's an opportunity in every freaking thing. Every freaking challenge. Everything is an opportunity. Like, the opportunity, Letty knows. It's okay, puppy dog. It's okay. Find the opportunity in this for you. Like, and again, this is not me telling you what to do. This is me coming from a life of a lot of struggle and a lot of not feeling good, a lot of not understanding how to work with my body and appreciate it and stuff. Like, a lot of unhappiness stuff. And then getting to a place where I feel peaceful and happy. Hi, puppy dog! It's okay, puppy dog. Oh, okay. That's all. Is like, I feel better now, and I didn't used to feel good. And this situation would have rocked my freaking world 20 years ago. And right now, I'm like really okay. Yes, I'm very fortunate, blessed, we're healthy. So, I mean, we are okay. But like, so just be mindful. Like, find out what you need to know, verify your facts, and then go to work, cleaning the closet, doing taxes, writing your book, making a painting, cooking some meals, reading with your kid, whatever the positive feel-good thing is for you. I mean, that's why, because why not? You know, why not just do what feel good? You know, is my nose running? Am I like having snot this whole time on this video? I hope not, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll go wash my hands in a minute, and then I'm not going anywhere, so. Okay, so Finding Your North Star by Martha Beck. Like, I just finished listening to that, and that's a book that, first of all, Vanessa, thank you. You continue to light the path to my North Star for me, and I love you so much. I'm so grateful for our relationship. She recommended this book to me. So perfect for me, and I'm actually very already in line with it. Loved it because when I got further along, and it tells you how to work within like the square 4. If you listen to it, it'll make sense to you. Like, I'm in square 3, but like I will get to square 4, and so I really appreciated that. And then I appreciated the whole book in its entirety, because I feel like a lot of self-development books and stuff touch on pieces of this. Like even my memoir will touch on this concept, this idea, but this book is the only book I've ever come across that actually like says, this is what's up, like this is how, this is what you feel, this is what you can expect. Change is uncomfortable, but it's what has to happen, and your body will try to tell you that it has to happen until you freaking do it, or else you will die miserable. And I love like this, like everybody needs to listen to this book over and over and over and over and over again until they get it. And it's kind of with what's going on with the pandemic. I feel like our world, so there's each of us as a person, but I sort of feel like our world, like it's been trying to tell us something for a while, whether the something's political or financial or wash your freaking hands, like what the thing it's trying to tell us, like that's not mine to, whatever. But it feels big, like it's like forcing the change. It's forcing the change because the change we haven't listened, or whatever. Like Finding Your North Star by Martha Beck. It's a great Audible listen, or I don't think you can check it out or go buy it. So maybe you just have to download it and listen to it, or ebook. One of the things though with that, some of these books, is you have to be in a place to receive. So it's like just like we have to be in a place to give. We also have to, like, receiving's part of that too. Like that's somewhere that we want to be. Like we want to get to a place where we can receive gifts from other people, the universe, the whatever, the energy. Like, so giving, receiving, it's all this thing. So like if you're not in a place to receive the information that's in that book, like maybe it doesn't do a lot of good, and maybe you start with just that self-talk thing, like whatever. And again, this is where I feel stupid. This is what makes me nervous doing a video like this, because who am I to say this? I feel like, well, mind your own freaking business. How do you know what they feel? How do you know what they think? Who are you to tell them anything? Blah, 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 blah. Well, who I am to tell you is somebody that lived on fast food and TV and didn't freaking know how to listen to her body, couldn't even freaking go to the bathroom every day because I was a freaking balled up mess. Ranting will be done soon. Okay, for any of you who watched whatever. Leaning into discomfort, I kind of started this way. So treat yourself nice. Once you learn how to treat yourself in the way that you need to be treated to live your life in a way that feels good to you, other people will learn how to treat you that way too. Like that's what I've learned. And then this whole leaning into discomfort thing. Obviously, there's the stuff that's just, and this is where finding your North Star helps you understand these feelings. It's like a hard thing to talk about, and if you've never felt it, you don't have the things in your life that where you have made the connection, like it's a difficult thing to hear somebody else say, you'll know, or you can feel it, or, and then you're like looking at them like, that's a bunch of hogwash, like what in the heck are you talking about? Well, she helps you. And she helps with that. And that's the only book I've ever come across that does. And it's awesome. So this leading into discomfort thing, like one of my mantras is give discomfort a hug, because there's just a lot of stuff that's uncomfortable. And then I'll get the tingly lip thing and jittery in my legs. And it's like whether it be dealing with, an interaction with Gabe or my mom or my mother. It's usually people close to you, but again, or if you feel like you're supposed to get on and do a video and say something that's kind of outside the box, like whatever, that's the kind of discomfort. It's like, I have this mantra, give discomfort a hug. Like just, instead of going away, like, okay, I'm going to go over here now and I'm not going to look at that thing right now because I don't like that and that makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, no. Lean in. Hug it. It wants your love. It wants your attention. Make discomfort comfortable. I am getting so much more comfortable with discomfort, and it's like a really, really, really cool, freeing place to be. I still feel it, but the thing about feeling it is I deal with it sooner than I used to, which means I don't feel it for as long. So that's a really good thing. Okay, this video is 30 freaking 5 minutes long. Probably the longest video I've ever done. I don't expect anybody to watch it. Probably nobody will. If you get through it, leave me a comment. I'd love to know where you are. I would seriously, like, I'm in a place, I'm putting myself out there. I need feedback. If you think I'm a batshit crazy person and you're like, get off the freaking internet, I'd love to hear you. I don't know that I'll listen because I get that tingly feeling around my mouth and I'm like, well, that means that you're supposed to say something. So, but I'd like to know anyway, because that's how, like, I'm getting better. And then, of course, if anything resonated with you, I'd love to know. Or if you have anything to add, any resources, any thoughts, whatever, please leave a comment. Either I'll post the link on Facebook and you can leave it there, or you can comment right on the YouTube channel. And then, yeah. And so I'll see you next Wednesday.